In the beginning, there was a bi-weekly IBTV show. And then there was a slip of the tongue.
I guess we'll see you next week.
Thus, episode 2 and then some was born.
This week we're going to be showing you a home theater mod as opposed to just a regular old case mod. This way you can have some remote hookups from your couch, that way you don't have to walk all the way over to your PC to do that. First, what are we going to be doing?
First off, we want to add some audio hookups. We're going to have, of course, your headset and your mic hookups in case, let's say, if you're watching a movie, maybe watching a torrented TV show, or just playing a game. That way you're not distracted by maybe someone cooking in the kitchen or just running a vacuum.
Yeah.
Another thing we're going to do is add front USB hookups. The main reason of doing this is in case you have a portable device or just a jump drive, you can just plug it in instead of going up to your computer.
And then for power, we're going to be able to give you a way to turn on and off your computer through a power switch that we took off an old case that I had, and some Cat 5 cables. Just use whatever cabling is readily available, whichever is the cheapest really. And for the audio, we have two 20-foot cables that we got from Radio Shack. Make sure they're stereo though, because you can't really play a game too well if you only have one channel. And then to mount it all up, what do we got here?
Alright, pretty much what we did, we cut just a piece of wood, and we're going to mount it like this so that we'll have all of our cables hook up right through the back. It's going to be flush right across there, and we'll mount it up under the coffee table. That way it's really clean and it doesn't really distract the room and make it look like a gaming room. It's going to be more of a home theater roomy kind of setup.
Yeah, especially since this is my mom's coffee table.
And we don't want to really start cutting holes and all that.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get this started and start drilling some holes in here.
Sure, let's go. Alright everyone, now that we're outside, let's go ahead and introduce all the equipment that we'll be using. First, for wood cutting like this, we are going to need an actual drill as opposed to just a Dremel tool. But we are going to be using the Dremel tool for things like sanding, things like that. And the way we're going to hook this up is the cables are going to be drilled into the wood, flush with the wood, and then we're going to go ahead and on the end of the power cable and the USB cable, we're going to splice it together with the Cat 5 cable and then hook it up to the motherboard on the computer using our electrician's toolkit. So let me go ahead and get started marking everything. Let me get the audio cable marked, and USB, and then power. Let's go ahead and drill this in. Alright, now that we drilled the audio holes, I'm going to drill the hole for the power. And now I have the bit for the USB. This is the last one we're going to have to do, and then we'll switch to the Dremel. Now we have all 4 holes. Of course, they're not square for the power and USB, so we're going to have to do that with a Dremel tool. So let's go ahead and put on a bit that is suitable for that. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to round everything off real quick. That way you don't cut your foot on it when you walk across the floor. And then we're going to get 2 screws and drill these 2 pieces together, then mount it up under the coffee table. So let's go ahead and continue sanding and smooth this out. Alright, that looks nice and pretty. What we're going to do is, let me get back to you when I screw the 2 holes for this one and hook these back together. Alright, now that we have the 2 pieces of wood screwed and the holes cut in and sanded, all we need to do is adhere the connections to the wood. What we got to do is use some siliconized caulk. This goes on white and it dries clear. That way you don't see it all over the wood here. And we're going to paint it anyway, so that way it looks nice and clean. So let me go ahead and connect to the first piece. Alright, now we have both audio ports hooked up. It's nice and flush on the outside, and the back is nice and sealed. We're going to go and staple these two, connect both of the other connections, and I'll get right back with you. So now all we have to do is staple the back of these, and I've already put the power switch in. We have a mounting bracket that came with the USB plugs. This, all we need to do is get some screws for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get some screws to put that in there, and then some staples, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, now we're going to get into the splicing of the power cable onto the power switch. So let's go ahead and strip the Cat5 cable. Now it just so happened to need 8 wires. The USB has 6 and the power has 2, so that's perfect for a Cat5 cable. Alright, now we have all the wire exposed. What I'm going to do is use some splices. Alright, now where I'm cutting, I'm going to save these because I want to connect them to the leads on the motherboard. That's pretty valuable. Now I'm going to connect 6 of these wires to the Cat5, and for the power I'll save 2 of those, and then we're going to show you the finished product in a minute here. Well, this is the conclusion of our mod. Basically we connected everything up, made sure everything was working fine, mounted it up, and painted it too. It took a little bit longer than usual though, because we did end up painting it. We painted it black, that way it matches the decor. It doesn't really catch your eye, because we do want this to be a full functioning living room, not some flashy gaming room or anything like that.
Another thing that we're going to end up doing, and I would also recommend it to you, is investing in an audio switch. That way you don't have to run up to the computer and switch out your audio cables. You can just have that also mounted right next to it. You can build it yourself or just pick up the Plantron S01. It's about $20 at your local computer store. I would consider that a really good investment for something like this.
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess this pretty much wraps it up for this week's mod. Be sure to catch next week for episode 3. Is there anything else you want to add?
I'm tired.
And make sure you check the forums for any kind of measurements. And once again, next week, episode 3.